Just like red or something, yeah. Yeah, blue shows up real good. There you go. Okay. All right, so now we identified true size elements. We've drawn our parallel lines, and what I would do, I was telling this during the review, double check everything as you go, because these auxiliary views have several steps.
Yep.
And if you make a mistake at step 1, then step 2, 3, 4, it's pointless because it's all wrong anyway. So go ahead and just grab your angle dimension and just double check that the angle between one of these lines and that object line, not that one, you want to pick the line that you projected from. Make sure that it is parallel or 0 degrees. That's going to be 30. Yeah, it's going to be something else. We don't know that. Do this right here to escape. Hit you delete. Click right there. Hit delete. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, because you extended it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You extend. Okay, go back. Trim it back down the length. We don't want to ruin the original image.
Trim this or this?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
And then change this color back to black. Only on that one line. And now use your copy command. You copy one of these back to that corner, because you still need a line there. It was just you had extended it instead of copying it. Okay. There we go. Now double check the angle between that line and that line, and it should say 180 degrees or parallel.
Parallel.
Since these lines are parallel, and that means out to 8 decimal places, it's perfect. I'm just keeping it warm for you. Alright, so we identified true size elements, we drew our parallel projection lines, we double checked that they were parallel. Now we need an auxiliary line to measure from, and an auxiliary line to transfer to. So, and what I did is I'd change your color. You're already on red, that's good. Grab your line command, click about right there, and do snap to perpendicular. And then click, there you go. And then grab an angle and double check between the red and the blue that it's 90 out to 8 decimal places. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's good. I think if that one's a fraction, when you use the measure command, you don't have to run decimal places up because it automatically does it for you. And what we'll do here is, instead of drawing an auxiliary line in between, we'll just make that top line right there on that view. We'll just say that that's auxiliary line. So now we need to measure and transfer dimensions. So do this here. Grab you a circle, a radius there. Yep. And let's just do that point first. And it doesn't matter which one you do first. So click. Yeah, click there, and then go up and click there. Perfect. So now the radius of that circle is equal to that distance from the our auxiliary line. So click on the circle and grab that middle blue grip, and here's where you got to know where to put it. So this is the lower point, which is that point there. So follow that blue line up, and yeah, there you go, perfect. Okay. Now what I tell people to do usually, because the only important part here is where that circle intersects this projection line. It's the only point where it matters. But you see it intersects them all. And so I don't want anybody to get confused. So what you do here, grab you a circle command. Okay, and draw you the smallest little circle. Perfect. That's too big. Perfect. Now, we know that the center point of that circle is the point in question. Delete the big circle. So when we draw later, we're going to snap to all the centers. Does that make sense? Makes sense? Okay. What are you doing? Are you working on secondaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought if you were, you could just join in and. This is a pretty effective review here. Not that it's going to be on the exam or anything, but. All right, so go ahead and just measure all your points and transfer them.
So we're measuring to this line?
Yep. And you see how it's giving you that snap to nearest? If you're not, move your cursor just slightly to the right. See, if you're not careful, you're not. It's not perfect. So do this here. Let's turn that off. Let's just turn it off. Click on settings, object snap settings, and to turn off tangent and nearest. All right, there. Go ahead and turn on quadrant and node. Yes. Okay. Now draw a circle out. We're guaranteed to have this right. See, now it gets more definitive there. So move it. So that's that middle right point. So follow that blue line up. Perfect. And then do the little circle. Mail them real small because it's going to, there you go. Otherwise it'll interfere with that next line.
And then delete this one.
Yep. So and just do that to all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. 7,
1, 2, 3. You gotta do these two right.
Oh, you gotta do all, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points total.
Okay. This line right.
Yes. Now you should see something happening here. Do you notice something about a correlation between your points?
All on the same line?
They're starting to form a line, and they should, because this is the primary auxiliary view of an oblique surface, which is an edge view. So all 7 points should be on one line, and that's going to be our double check, because when you get all 7 points done and you draw your line, you can zoom in and check your object snaps, and if the center points, all those circles are dead on that line all the way across, then that's a pretty good indication that you've done this step right.
Okay.
So keep going.
Now,
You technically don't have to do all 7 if you can just define the line and then do like one check. So you actually have 3 points. You could just go ahead and draw your line if you wanted, and then if it happens across through that center there, then that's probably correct. Yeah, but then extend it all the way across. And then you're also going to change that to 0.6 in a black color because it's technically it's an object line. And if you look here, zoom in real close on that middle gap and hit escape and click on it. And that blue grip dead on. You see that? So that's your double check. Go ahead and do one more on the left side. That would be double verification.
this here, there's 1 point.
Mhm.
That's gonna be this line?
Yep. Zoom in real close and double check it's on the line. Dead on. So there you go. You could stop drawing. Even though there's 7 points on the primary view, you could stop drawing at this point because that's pretty clear right there. 2 checks. We've double checked it's on the line. You can delete these little circles now just because they're kind of annoying and getting in the way.
Which ones?
Those little circles, yeah. And unless you just want to keep them. Otherwise, they kind of have a tendency to kind of get in the way. So there's your line.
Okay.
And also notice that your line touches your auxiliary line.
Mhm.
And that makes sense because we made the auxiliary line on top of the part. So it should intersect somewhere. All right, so good. Now, change that line to 0.6 and black in color because it's an object line. It's an edge view of that surface. Okay. And what I like to do as well is use your trim command and trim all the tops off here because we're going to project down from here.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, we're going to project perpendicular and down from there. So if you kind of think about where it's going, that's going to put your auxiliary view kind of in here, kind of close to your others. So what you can do is use your move command and slide both the auxiliary line and the auxiliary view along, but a little bit further up here. So when it projects down, it'll be in this white space. Gives you room. Yeah, move the line and the auxiliary line because they both have to be together. They have to stay aligned correctly. And just, okay, perfect, that'll work. And now we see when you project down, you'll be in this white space, get a little extra room to work. Speaking of which, extend all your blue lines up to up there. What you working on?
I'm gonna finish up that last multi or isometric.
Okay. What did you say you were gonna come take that test?
Wednesday.
Not today, Wednesday, but next week,
Yes.
Wednesday? Okay.
Ooh, you missed a test.
You're in trouble now, mister. He doesn't extend it quite that far, but that's okay. All right, now we need a perpendicular line to the object. So grab your, change color to blue. That's what you've been doing. Line, click about right there. Yeah, kind of down here in the white space. Okay, and it's that perpendicular. And perpendicular to that. Click right there. Okay. Now, so now just double check that the angle between the blue and the black line is 90 degrees, okay? But now it's kind of in a silly location because it's just in the middle. Now use your move command and move it to one of the points. It's right side or something. Perfect. Now then use your copy command and then copy it to each intersection of that primary. And zoom in and make sure you get all your object snaps. You see, all those are good except that one right there didn't quite. A couple of those didn't quite make it. Sorry. Copy. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. All right, and then we got to kind of get out of the way of all this mess. So you're going to draw another auxiliary line, maybe about right there, perpendicular. So change color to red. Go just beyond where they intersect. So click them. Come out here and click. Right there might be good.
It's not perpendicular.
Yep. You didn't get the snap perpendicular. Click it again, didn't get the snap perpendicular. Here we go. And then you're supposed to go out. You can just use your extend command real quick. There you go. Okay. And let's just verify real quick. That's 90. So measure, make sure that's 90. Perfect. All right. Now what you're going to do is the same thing with your circles, but there's no shortcut this time. You have to do all 7 points. You're going to measure from this red line, not the black line, the red line, with the circle and radiuses to each of the 7 points, and then transfer them.
So
And this is the part that
this
kind of gets tedious.
is this,
Yeah. So that the radius here would be the distance from that auxiliary line to that point.
and this one's got to be extended.
It's probably going to have to be extended, yeah. In fact, go ahead and extend them all to the title block. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, AutoCAD has to be able to see what you're doing in order to. Okay, that gives you plenty of room. But now you got to move it because right now that circle is sitting on this auxiliary line. It needs to be sitting on the lower one. So click on that. Click on circle. Click on the grip, and follow that blue line up until it intersects the to that line, and then follow it down right there, and then draw your little circle, and then delete the big circle. And repeat 6 times.
This one to there.
Yes.
Or-
Yeah, zoom in real close. Make sure you're. Yeah, because you see, there's a lot. There's a lot of object snaps in that one location.
So we move this that line
Keep going, all the way up to the object line, and then drop down.
where it intersects here.
Yep. Now where are you gonna?
Right there.
Yeah. You see, because you could have put it there, but that would have been wrong, wouldn't it have? Because you were on that middle projection line. So you got to be real careful about where you put your circle. You were right to begin with, I think. Which one did you measure?
The second one.
Okay, yes, so you're on the correct line then. So to keep going.
This
Yep, all the way up the object line, and follow it down.
Right there.
Make sure you didn't get off the line. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then, so you're going to draw a circle where it intersects this right line of the pair. This one's complicated because it has a lot of lines real close together. And as you can see, you haven't done anything yet that's difficult. Auxiliary views aren't hard. There's just so many steps, and there's so many places where if you get one object snap wrong, it throws the whole thing off. So it's really not difficult per se. Yeah, where it intersects the auxiliary line. You did it on the object. You see how? So that wasn't difficult there. That was a little place where you get tricked up real easy though. Alright, just keep on rolling. Get the big line. And you think about what points you don't have.
Yeah, because that's the right one, right?
I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't watch it 100%, but I think you got it.
This one is what point?
Just follow it back to go up to the object line and then follow it down. There you go. So measure that one
Yeah,
next. Here.
Right there.
And in a little bit, we can have slow motion replay of all this. Yeah, over one click. Two more. Done all that, we still got two more to do. Two, three, four, five, six. Missing one, so there's going to be one that shares a line with another.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's gonna. If you look here, that rightmost line should have two. It hits this point and then it hits the lower point.
Is this right here?
Yep. So it's either the top. Yeah, it's gonna be that one. That's right. That's it. And then that should be your last point. And now you get to connect the dots. And that connecting the dots can be a little bit of a challenge in and of itself. So you got to figure out what to connect where. So change your color to black and 0.6 because this is going to be an object line. And go from center to center and you. Not that one. It should be the one on the left side.
This one?
Yeah. And that looks right. I think you've gotten it. And then the only thing really left to do now is some professionalism stuff. Trim out everything from the inside of the shape. So trim all the blue lines, trim all the red circles, do everything to clean up the inside.
Delete all the circles?
I would just trim them because I still like to see them. Just
that.
got to clear them out of the inside. Yeah. Delete that little piece there. Trim. I think there's one nice trim there. That red circle on the bottom. Or, yeah. All right. Looks pretty clean on the inside. Okay. Got a 0.2 millimeters.
Still got that one.
Yep.
Oop. There you go. I missed that one, didn't I? All right, now 0.2 millimeters, and use your hatch command and hatch the inside surface. Okay.
Is that okay the way it is?
Yeah, click that, and then we
You want
change the angle to 15. It'll rotate it just a little bit. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. Okay. All right, check the area of that hatch real quick. Let's see what you came out with.
I can't remember how to check the area.
You just click on the hatch to select it and right click go to properties. When you right click, does it go to properties or is it showing you that? I'm not,
Yes.
I've never seen that ever. That's the only way to do it is to check the property. Do this right here. Just escape. Down here, type in properties, and I think that wall should bring it up. Okay, so there's that. Now click the hatch. Okay, it says hatch up there at the top. See that? Now, cumulative area 2.0082. If I'm correct, that's what the answer key was too. So you done that right there.
Okay.
So all you'd have to do now is put your leader in. It says area and that number, square inches or whatever.